Welcome to our exploration of dairy development in India, a journey that spans from colonial times to the transformative era of Operation Flood. India's dairy sector has a rich and complex history, shaped by both traditional practices and modern interventions. In this video, we'll delve into the two distinct phases of dairy development, before and after Operation Flood. We'll uncover how early efforts laid the groundwork, the challenges faced by both producers and consumers, and how a visionary movement changed the landscape forever. Let's begin by understanding the roots of India's dairy industry and the factors that set the stage for change. History of organized dairy in India traces back to the British colonial era. The Defense Department established military dairy farms to supply milk and butter to the colonial army. The first such farm was set up in Allahabad in 1913, followed by others in Bangalore, Uti, and Karnal. These farms were well maintained, using improved milch animals and even practicing artificial insemination. However, these advancements were limited to the military and had little impact on the civilian population. The benefits of improved breeds and better practices did not reach the broader society, leaving most consumers dependent on traditional sources. As urban populations grew, the demand for milk increased. City dwellers relied on local milk vendors who kept cattle in urban areas and sold milk door to door. This led to the rise of numerous cattle sheds in cities, which created environmental challenges. The primary goal of these vendors was profit, often at the expense of animal health. They extended lactation periods, which caused sterility issues in high-yielding cattle. Once these animals became unproductive, they were sold to slaughterhouses, resulting in a loss of superior breeds and further weakening the genetic pool of Indian cattle. The onset of the Second World War brought momentum to private dairies, especially in major cities like Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, and Delhi. Modernized processing facilities began to appear, and processed milk, table butter, and ice cream became available, though only on a limited scale. Companies like Paulson's, Kevinters, and Express Dairy were pioneers in urban dairy processing. However, their focus remained on maximizing profits and market share rather than improving the breeds or supporting rural producers. As a result, the dairy sector remained largely unorganized, with limited benefits for the broader population. After India's independence, the government recognized the need to modernize the dairy industry. The first five-year plan in 1951 prioritized providing hygienic milk to the growing urban population. Milk schemes were launched in large cities, and several programs like the Integrated Cattle Development Project and Key Village Scheme aimed to boost milk production. Despite these efforts, milk production remained stagnant, growing at just about 1% annually between 1951 and 1970. The lack of a stable and remunerative market for producers hindered progress, and various state policies failed to bring about significant change. During this period, most dairy processing plants were established in cities rather than in rural milksheds. This led to the creation of cattle colonies in major cities like Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. These urban cattle colonies contributed to environmental degradation and did little to incentivize rural producers. The procurement of milk remained unorganized, dominated by contractors and middlemen. The perishable nature of milk and its scarcity gave vendors significant power, often to the detriment of both producers and consumers. To address the high price of milk, government-run dairy plants began extending buffalo milk by reconstituting large quantities of imported milk powder. While this helped lower prices, it also discouraged domestic milk production. Government dairies could only meet about one-third of urban demand, leaving rural producers dependent on traders and moneylenders. The prevalence of cattle colonies in cities further drained the rural population of superior milch animals, worsening the genetic pool and reducing incentives for rural milk production. Establishment of urban cattle colonies not only led to a genetic drain of superior milch animals from rural areas, but also contributed to significant environmental problems. Waste management became a challenge, and urban areas faced increased pollution due to the concentration of cattle. Meanwhile, rural producers saw little benefit from these arrangements, as they remained outside the organized procurement and marketing system. The need for a new approach to dairy development became increasingly clear. Recognizing the limitations of existing systems, the late 1960s saw the conception of a new strategy for organized dairy development, the cooperative movement. The National Dairy Development Board (NDDB) was established in 1965 by an Act of Parliament. Its objectives were to promote dairy cooperatives, finance dairy infrastructure, and provide technical and managerial support. This marked the beginning of a new era, where the focus shifted to empowering producers and building sustainable systems for milk procurement and marketing. NDDB conceived the ambitious Operation Flood Program, OFP, which was endorsed by the government in 1969. The program aimed to enhance milk production, increase rural incomes, and ensure fair prices for farmers. However, the NDDB statutes did not allow it to handle government funds directly. To resolve this, the Indian Dairy Corporation (IDC) was established in 1970 as a public sector company. IDC managed the financial and promotional aspects, while NDDB provided technical support, setting the stage for a coordinated national effort. Operation Flood was designed with clear objectives: to boost milk production, raise rural incomes, and ensure reasonable prices for farmers. The program was implemented in 3 phases, each with distinct goals and funding mechanisms. The first phase was financed by the sale of skimmed milk powder and butter oil gifted by the European Union through the World Food Programme. The focus was on organizing dairy cooperatives at the village level and building the necessary infrastructure for procurement, processing, and marketing. Operation Flood's first phase, 1971-980, laid the foundation for India's modern dairy industry. Funded by the sale of 126,000 mt of skimmed milk powder and 42,000 mt of butter oil, the program focused on organizing village-level cooperatives and building infrastructure for milk procurement and processing. 18 of India's premier milksheds were linked with major cities like Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, and Madras, capturing a significant share of the urban milk market. This phase established the basic framework for a self-sustaining dairy sector. Key achievement of Phase I was the integration of rural milksheds with urban markets. By connecting village cooperatives and the best milksheds to consumers in major cities, Operation Flood ensured a steady supply of milk and milk products. This not only benefited urban consumers but also provided rural producers with access to stable markets and better prices. The foundation was laid for a national milk grid that would eventually bridge seasonal and regional variations in milk availability. Operation Flood's second phase, 1981-1985, marked a period of rapid expansion. The program integrated dairy development projects from various states and received significant funding from the World Bank and the European Economic Community. The number of milksheds increased from 18 to 136, and 290 urban markets expanded the reach of milk distribution. By the end of 1985, a self-sustaining system of 43,000 village cooperatives covering 4.25 million milk producers was established, dramatically increasing domestic milk powder production. Cooperative movement gained remarkable momentum during Phase II. Village-level dairy cooperatives multiplied, empowering millions of small producers. These cooperatives provide members with access to veterinary care, feed, and artificial insemination services, improving animal health and productivity. The collective bargaining power of cooperatives ensured fair prices for milk, while the expansion of processing and marketing infrastructure enabled efficient distribution to urban markets. One of the most significant outcomes of Operation Flood's second phase was the dramatic increase in domestic milk powder production. Before the project, India produced only 22,000 tons of milk powder annually. By 1989, this figure had soared to 140,000 tons. This growth not only reduced dependence on imports but also ensured a stable supply of milk products throughout the year, regardless of seasonal fluctuation. Third phase of Operation Flood, 1985-1996, focused on expanding and strengthening the infrastructure needed to handle increasing volumes of milk. Funded by the World Bank and additional food aid, this phase extended veterinary first aid, feed, and artificial insemination services to cooperative members. Member education was intensified, and more emphasis was placed on research and development in animal health and nutrition. The goal was to create a robust, self-sustaining dairy sector. Streamline operations and avoid duplication, the Indian Dairy Corporation and NDDB were merged into a newly constituted NDDB by an Act of Parliament in 1987. This move designated NDDB as an institution of national importance, granting it autonomy and consolidating its role in guiding India's dairy development. The merger facilitated more efficient management and coordination of the country's dairy initiatives. Major focus during Phase III was the extension of veterinary first aid, feed, and artificial insemination services to cooperative members. These services played a crucial role in improving animal health, increasing productivity, and ensuring the sustainability of dairy operations. By investing in animal care and nutrition, the cooperatives helped farmers achieve higher yields and better returns. Intensified member education became a cornerstone of the cooperative movement. Training programs were organized to educate members about best practices in animal husbandry, milk production, and cooperative management. This knowledge transfer empowered farmers to adopt modern techniques, improve efficiency, and actively participate in the growth of their cooperatives. Operation Flood placed greater emphasis on research and development in animal health and nutrition. Investments in R&D led to innovations that improved milk yields, disease resistance, and overall animal well-being. These advancements not only benefited cooperative members but also contributed to the long-term sustainability of India's dairy sector. Remarkable achievement of the cooperative movement was the creation of the National Milk Grid. This network linked milk producers in villages across India with consumers in over 700 towns and cities. The grid helped bridge seasonal and regional variations in milk availability, ensuring a steady supply to urban markets and stable returns for rural producers. Cooperative movement and Operation Flood had a profound impact on rural incomes. By organizing producers and providing access to stable markets, cooperatives ensured that farmers received fair and remunerative prices for their milk. This uplifted millions of rural families, improved livelihoods, and contributed to the overall development of rural communities. Dairy cooperatives played a significant role in empowering women in rural India. Many women became active members of cooperatives, participating in milk production, management, and decision-making. This not only improved their economic status but also enhanced their social standing within their communities. Key focus of the cooperative movement was ensuring the quality and hygiene of milk and milk products. Modern processing facilities, quality control measures, and regular testing were introduced to maintain high standards. This not only protected consumers but also enhanced the reputation of Indian dairy products in domestic and international markets. By shifting milk procurement and processing to rural areas, the cooperative movement helped reduce the environmental problems associated with urban cattle colonies. Improved waste management practices and better animal husbandry contributed to a cleaner environment, both in rural and urban settings. Growth of the dairy sector was accompanied by significant technological advancements. Modern equipment for milking, processing, and storage improved efficiency and product quality. The adoption of new technologies also enabled better tracking of production and distribution, supporting the expansion of the national milk grid. Operation Flood invested heavily in building infrastructure for milk procurement, processing, and marketing. New dairies, chilling centers, and transportation networks were established across the country. This infrastructure enabled the efficient movement of milk from rural producers to urban consumers, supporting the growth of the entire sector. National Dairy Development Board played a central role in guiding and supporting the cooperative movement. NDDB provided technical expertise, financial assistance, and managerial support to cooperatives across the country. Its leadership was instrumental in shaping policies, implementing projects, and ensuring the long-term sustainability of India's dairy sector. Operation Flood received significant international support, particularly from the European Union and the World Bank. Commodity assistance in the form of skimmed milk powder and butter oil, along with financial aid, played a crucial role in funding the program's various phases. This support enabled India to build a robust dairy sector and reduce dependence on imports. Expansion of urban markets was a key component of Operation Flood. By increasing the number of urban outlets for milk, the program ensured that more consumers had access to fresh, quality milk and milk products. This market expansion also created new opportunities for rural producers, linking them directly to growing urban demand. National Milk Grid played a vital role in bridging regional and seasonal gaps in milk availability. By connecting surplus-producing regions with deficit areas, the grid ensured a balanced supply throughout the year. This not only stabilized prices but also minimized wastage and improved overall efficiency in the dairy sector. Core principle of the cooperative movement was to ensure remunerative returns to milk producers. By eliminating middlemen and organizing direct procurement, cooperatives guaranteed that farmers received a fair share of the final price. This approach incentivized increased production and fostered trust among rural producers. Operation Flood's focus on quality control ensured that consumers received safe and nutritious milk. Regular testing, modern processing, and strict hygiene standards became the norm. This not only improved public health but also built consumer confidence in Indian dairy products. In the late 2000s, India's dairy cooperatives had grown to include over 133,000 village societies, federated into 177 milk unions and 15 federations. These cooperatives represented nearly 13.9 million farmers, highlighting the vast scale and reach of the movement. The collective strength of these members played a crucial role in sustaining the sector's growth. On average, India's dairy cooperatives now procure over 25 million liters of milk every day. This massive scale of operation ensures a steady supply to urban markets and provides a reliable source of income for millions of rural families. The efficient collection and distribution systems are a testament to the success of the cooperative model. Cooperative movement has played a pivotal role in bridging the gap between rural producers and urban consumers. By linking village-level production with city markets, the movement has created a seamless supply chain that benefits both ends. Rural producers gain access to stable markets, while urban consumers enjoy a consistent supply of quality milk. Looking ahead, the National Dairy Development Board has identified several key thrust areas for the future. These include strengthening the cooperative business model, enhancing productivity, improving quality, and building a national information network. Continued investment in these areas will ensure the long-term sustainability and competitiveness of India's dairy sector. The National Information Network is being developed to support the dairy sector. This network will facilitate real-time data sharing, improve decision-making, and enhance coordination among cooperatives, unions, and federations. The adoption of digital technologies will further modernize the sector and drive future growth. India's dairy revolution has earned global recognition. The country is now one of the world's largest producers of milk and milk products. The success of the cooperative model has inspired similar initiatives in other countries, showcasing India's leadership in sustainable agricultural development. Despite remarkable progress, the dairy sector faces ongoing challenges. These include maintaining quality standards, addressing environmental concerns, and ensuring equitable growth across regions. Continued innovation, investment, and policy support will be essential to overcome these hurdles and sustain the sector's momentum. Story of Dairy Development in India offers valuable lessons in collective action, innovation, and resilience. The cooperative movement demonstrated the power of organizing producers, investing in infrastructure, and leveraging technology to achieve national goals. These lessons continue to guide the sector as it adapts to new challenges and opportunities. India's dairy revolution stands as a model for rural development and poverty alleviation. By empowering small producers, building robust supply chains, and ensuring fair returns, the cooperative movement has transformed lives and communities. The success of Operation Flood continues to inspire efforts in other sectors and countries. Today, India's dairy sector is a source of pride and a testament to the power of vision, collaboration, and perseverance. The journey from unorganized, fragmented systems to a world-leading cooperative network is a remarkable achievement. As we celebrate this success, we also look forward to new milestones and continued progress. Conclusion: the development of India's dairy sector is a story of transformation, resilience, and hope. From colonial beginnings to the revolutionary impact of Operation Flood, the journey has been marked by challenges and triumphs. The cooperative movement has empowered millions, improved livelihoods, and set new standards for sustainable development. As the sector continues to evolve, its legacy will inspire generations to come.